have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe here. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
I hope we remember how to do this.
Well, welcome back, ladies. Listen, we skipped a week. I'm sorry, but we're back.
We're back.
Thank you.
We're back.
Thank you for coming back.
And it's an important one. It's an important one because guess what? We've turned 1 year old. This is our 1 year anniversary.
1 year?
Yes. Congratulations, Jacob.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jay. How are you, dude?
I am good. I feel older now that we celebrated 1 year.
I cannot believe it's been a year.
I know, but it's been. I would say I wanted to have some big long it's been a long road and we've learned a lot, but we haven't.
No.
It hasn't been that long of a road. It's been fun, but when it is a year, then we have to celebrate it, and who better to celebrate it? Now, normally here's where I do an intro, but I think a 1 year anniversary needs a year's worth of intros. So who better to celebrate it with than the tattooed Titan of Tokusatsu, our heralded host, the Highness of the Heisei, and the head honcho of the Hollow Earth, the astonishing architect of Godzilla Tower, the most tenured ticket taker at World Children's Land, and the coolest cockroach on this side of the M Space Hunter Nebula. You're the Sultan of Sofubi. You're the chairman of Chugokin. You're the royal ruler of Resin. You're the only man I know badass enough to have a collection made exclusively of space titanium. You're a trend master, a Popey pastor, a Kaiju die-caster, soft vinyl never plaster, and everyone's favorite podcaster. To you, Varan is believable. Moving the earth to avoid Gorath is achievable. You've amassed a Godzilla toy collection that's inconceivable. So whether it's the podcast waves or the YouTube camera, with his infinite kaiju wisdom, he will hammer ya. Screw those four ninjas. His favorite turtle is Gamera. He is the exalted excavator of Element X and our very own McCanny host, Mr. Spectacular and sensational songwriting sovereign of Seatopia and the stupendous and superific samurai squire of Subaraya. The swinging and sludge slinging sulfuric Superman and the smokestack seizing psychedelic Caesar of 70s smog centric cinema, the potentate of planetary parasitic predators, the wielder of the wild spirit, the founding father of found footage, and a man that, hey, when he serves you squid, you get all 10 legs. He is, of course, the colossal calamari of kaiju commentators, the show-stopping and shit-talking shaman of Shiva, the renegade of the red dust. He is podcaster Ultima and the one true singular point, because if you look across the kaiju landscape, there's nobody as wise. So listeners, let's get ready to orthogonally diagonalize the bigwig of Bandai, the patriarch of Playmates, a megastar of Marusan, his majesty of Metacom, the maestro of Mezco, and the masterful mogul of Mondo, because he wrecks bots so they'll stop buying. He's our host of YHS on Monster Island, the enlightening, impressive impresario of irradiated iguana eggs, and tonight he is going to be the tremendous truth-telling troubadour, trumpeting the trials and tribulations of TriStar, because thanks to Chernobyl, he's 17% better than the average kaiju podcaster, the salient sultan of cinematic sequels, the righteous reverend of reboots, the honorific and omnipotent, awe-inspiring authority on origin stories. You might know him from YHS, and he's Valdosta's very own, but let's not kid anyone. Monster Island is his home sweet home. He is the artistic, ink-injecting offspring of Azalea City, then the hallowed harbinger of horror. But also, did you know, he's the shriek-inducing shroom of doom, the maniacal mycelium of the macabre, and the most frightening fungus among us, because when it comes to the horror genre, he's a pretty smart fella,
But today he's going to showcase his mastery of mushrooms from shiitake to portobello. He is the winner of last year's international yacht race. The man known from Daegu to Daejeon. He is the devilish and demented devotee of Daikaiju, described dubiously as dinosaurs, sole single source on supplementing cinematic stories with super high stock footage. And for this show, he watched The War of the God Monsters and Yongari. But after it, will the tattooed titan of Tokusatsu be asking himself, what the hell did I just see? He is the poet of Pyeongtaek, our wonderful cosmic commodore of crystallized kaiju, the only man that's managed to make the metal moron Mogera moderately meritorious. He survived the Yakuza and Yuki special. He's Project J, the man that's become famous for gabbing about ghosts, gawking at ghouls, and giggling at goblins. He will analyze apparitions, sermonize spirits, and philosophize phantasms. And if you try to stump him on Ghostbusters trivia, he'll fold you up like origami. But tonight, he's going to be the final word on if Stay Puffed is kaiju, yokai, or kami. We're all just spectators in his speculation on specters. Our very own Jake Jaguar, the Yuletide Yongari, the holiday Hedora. You make this holiday season so festive, whether you're hanging stockings or lighting a menorah.
The exalted expert on exobiology, experimenting on extinguishing extraterrestrial exospores and exuberantly executing all examples of extrasolar and extragalactic exotics that excel in exerting explosions and exacting excruciating extermination of one's extremities. He's the big shrimpin', the cold-blooded kriller, our clawsome crustacean salvation, and the crawdaddy of this arthropod cast. We are nothing but prawns in his game. He is the loquacious lobster of the South Seas and someone that cracks safes as easy as he cracks wise. The always somewhat crabby,
the brilliant and beguiling belated birthday boy, the wily wielder of the word bubble. Absolute peace and corn on the cob guns don't faze him at all. And he swears he won't let his body be a host for alien bugs if he dies in a rock climbing fall. He is the man that can only be controlled by the missing action tape number 3 and the only human that Shukra doesn't assign homework. You can call him the chairman of YHS on Monster Island, but don't call him a Mamagons boy.
He digs up demons, tracks down tomatoes, and crusades for crazy Kong collectibles. He is the tycoon of Toylanta. And unlike Super 7, he's always in scale with his co-stars. He's the mad maestro of the Monsterverse and Kaiju podcasting's true leading man, Mr. Jacob Walsh.
Whoa, that was a lot. And Jay, I really love that with all my heart. I cannot believe you kept that up for, the first time you did that, I was like, wow, that was really cool. That was amazing. I can't believe you did that. And then you did it again, and I'm like, is Jay doing this every time? And just the fact that you did that for a year, and I don't know if that's something you're planning on continuing, if you have the mental capacity to keep doing that. I don't know, but I love it. And I appreciate it, Jay.
Thank you. I don't know. It's year 2. Maybe we try something different, but I don't have any other skills. So, maybe you can do some like songs to open up some stuff or draw.
Oh, so this year I have to do it for you.
we need a third member of our crew, and that'll be their job. They'll just be the intro people, and then they leave.
that works. 1 year, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for
We're taking applications.
Thank you for sticking with us for this whole year. So I guess for our year anniversary here, we're gonna talk the news, we're gonna talk the toys, just like we usually do. But then we're gonna talk about one of Jay's favorite kaiju and one of my least favorite kaiju. We're gonna talk about Godzilla Raids Again.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about Anguirus or Anguirus or Anguilus, however you want to say it. I'm not judging you. I don't fucking care because I've been saying it wrong most of my life. I don't care if you want to say Ghidorah or Ghidra.
Doesn't matter.
Or Hedora or Hedera or whatever the fuck you want to say. It doesn't matter because they're all made up. Anyway,
that is true. And you know what? I think we might be the only podcast, the only people ever to celebrate an anniversary or something that should be a joyous occasion, something that should be big. We should be talking about something that means a lot to us. And we're doing Godzilla Raids Again.
With Godzilla Raids Again. We might be the only people to just celebrate Godzilla Raids Again, period.
Yeah.
Because
so
I'm going to tell you before we even start, Godzilla Raids Again is my least rewatched film.
Mhm.
It's my least. I've seen it just a few times, and
Yeah.
I remembered why when I rewatched it. For this. It's not great. Cool. What do
That's
you?
so
What
funny.
do you?
Hey, real quick, I'm trying to think. That's a really great point you bring up. Like, I don't know what my least rewatched Godzilla
Yeah.
film is. I think I've watched Godzilla versus Gigan the most, and
Okay.
and it's definitely not Godzilla Raids Again. I think I've seen Godzilla Raids Again like 3 times in the last year, but I'll get to the reasons why like later. I'm not that's really that's not spoiling anything. I don't know that now. That's gonna be bugging me the whole time, like what the least watched of all of. I mean, besides the legendary ones and like the anime, like the new ones.
I have seen all 3 of the anime trilogy movies more times than I've watched Godzilla Raids Again.
Wow,
and I enjoy all 3 of them more. I would pick those out over this movie.
I don't know.
We'll circle back. We'll circle back. It's not great. What you wanna do some toys?
Yeah,
I know you got some stuff.
I do got some stuff. Before you do toys, I gotta ask what have you watched this last couple of weeks? You watched anything this?
No, dude. Nothing. No kaiju movies. I've been kind of chilling. I started watching some of the. I felt bad because as a horror fan, I've never seen many of the old like Hammer horror movies. So I was like, oh, I want to watch one of these, and I watched Curse of Frankenstein. But then I started like kind of falling down like a vamp. I completely rewatched Midnight Mass, and now I'm just like watching Dracula movie. I don't know, dude. I haven't watched a lot of kaiju stuff recently, other than just a few rewatches of movies I've seen a million times. Nothing new on that. Have you seen some new?
Not like classic like what think of like Godzilla kaiju movies. I've been I talked about a few episodes ago, but I've been rewatching like Ultraman 66, and I finished that, and so I started Ultra 7, and I've watched Ultra 7 before. I like Ultra 7 a lot. I'm rewatching only a few episodes in, and what I've like picked up, and this might be common in like the super Ultraman communities and stuff, but like what it's really like kind of the theme that's coming up is like Ultraman 66 way better kaiju than Ultra 7. Ultra 7 way better like stories and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've been really enjoying it, and it's been great. So I don't know if I'm gonna I might do a solo episode or something, and just when I kind of finish those two, comparing them and stuff. But I've been really getting into that a little bit more, and I dig it, man. Like I said, I haven't rewatched Ultra 7 in about I don't know 2 or 3 years since I've seen it last, and that was kind of like just watching episodes every now and then. So that's been fun, but nothing like no movies. I just I don't know. It feels like for some reason, like the last few months, it's like there's not enough time in the day to do everything.
I hear you. Yeah. Same, dude. Just been haven't even had any like cross my mind really. Anything new anyway. You know what I mean? Nothing new. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what to do with the dead kaiju when we can finally have access to that, and then of course you have Shin Ultraman coming up. Like there's
there's some more I've seen. There's also there's a couple other kaiju films that I've seen getting posted about that are happening, but. Yeah, it's just hard to find some of that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing? You want to do some? What do you got?
Let's do some toys. Let's talk some toys.
What do you got? I know you probably got a ton of shit.
I do have a big week this week, and it wasn't like planned that way, but I had some stuff coming way earlier than expected, so it's okay. I got a lot. But do you want to go? Do you want me to go? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Well, I'll say first of all because I don't have it here because it's hard to show it off, but I did receive my Tom Whalen Godzilla versus Hedorah print came in. So I got that, and then cool. Not to skip ahead to any news, but the Godzilla versus Biollante print also got put out, went for sale. But I did pick that up. Other than that, I only have 2 other things. One's not a toy. One was sent to me from you, and it's this really cool Godzilla like amazing encyclopedia something. This book is amazing. I'm scared to try to take out the this little plastic thing.
I'll do it right now. You don't have to,
dude. Well, I almost did, but it felt like it might have been messing up the page. I feel like you might have to get a blow dryer, heat it up or something.
Let's see. I'll do it very carefully. This is the 24 I think in 2014. It was the 60-year Toho or Godzilla anniversary, was it? I think it was.
Yeah.
For Godzilla's 60th, they released a Toho, even beyond Godzilla, encyclopedia that went back and basically did bios and everything on, I mean, extensive on all the movies, all the kaiju in them, all the heroes. So this is Godzilla, it's Zone Fighter, it's anything,
I mean,
that touched it. It is awesome.
I mean, the thing, it's a beautiful book, but it's also sort of annoying to me because I just opened it to a random page and I'm seeing pictures of something and I'm like, you got it. You got it off. Like, I have no idea what's going on here and what these little pink cute things are.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm looking through this book and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I want to watch it. I don't know what this is, but I want to see it. And then when you get, closer to the back of the book, it's a lot of, some of the TV show stuff. And you got that thing?
Oh, no, keep going. Okay. Yes, yeah.
When you get to the back and it's a lot of the TV show stuff, you see some of the kaiju that are in here.
They're
and
funky.
I'm like, I have no idea I just want to know what these all are because I want to watch all of them. I need to see what all of this is.
This is like, it's so beautiful. And these both were brand new. Like, these had never been opened, the ones I got used to. They're like still crispy pages. Of course, look, I opened it up. This is a 300-page book. I opened it up, and of course, I opened it up to Yamato Takeru. That just meant like, look. I mean, I know it's hard to see on here, but like, look how beautiful this book is. And then to your point, when you get to all the television, the tokusatsu shows, I mean, it is just like, and it is bio and bio and bio of all these kaiju and heroes. It's one great. Okay, so this little thing, this insert. So it's like a little plastic file folder. So it's like to mimic the book, right?
Yeah.
It's the book, the front cover, but there's stuff in it. So there is a punch out little paper Batra, Mothra, and Godzilla. You can punch this out and stand it up. So a little paper model there.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
And then there appears to be a little sheet of stickers of all the Godzilla movies.
That's cool. I want to frame that Godzilla pop out thing, like not actually pop it out, but just frame it as it is in the packaging. This is one of the coolest pickups. I love all the old any of the Japanese Godzilla books. I love them. There's so many cool photos in all of these. Yeah. This is one of the best, and this is one of the best ones that I've gotten.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely, and I got it for one of the Pop Shop Lives that I did. And I saw it, and I'm like, I need one of these. And I'm like, and I know you weren't able to.
Well, I tried to. You sold this on Pop Shop Live, and I went to buy it from you, and somebody got it almost right away. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll get it. I
was like, I need to get one too. So look, I fell in love with it. I was like totally one of those things where I was like, I need to have this. So I love that book. It's so cool. Highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it. It's not super like available. It's not the easiest thing to find, but I've seen some floating on eBay, and we'll even get some on Toku Toy Town every now and then too.
Cool, dude. The only other thing I got, I know you also got, and it's finally some Mezco came in, and after I think it's been a little over a year that Mezco put these up for pre-order. Mm-hmm. They put up 2 sets, Destroy All Monsters, 2 different box sets. You get 4 kaiju each. And then, of course, after that, they put up a Mothra set. They put up the large Godzilla, and then they put up a Hedorah set. And I pre-ordered the Destroy All Monsters and the Mothra set. And then I passed on the Hedorah because I was like, hold on. I'm not going to keep buying these Mezco things until they start showing up and we can see what kind of quality we got here. So, weirdly, we got box 2. Box 1 is nowhere to be found. But box 2 showed up, and I want to say, Jay, I don't know about you, but I am super pleasantly surprised in these figures. Yeah. Hey, I've never in my life cared about owning a Baragon figure, and this is one of my favorite. Now I want to buy, dude, I've been like looking at Baragon Sofubi now because I'm like, I've never cared about him, but now that I have him in my hands, this is amazing. Yeah. These are all. Also, Gorosaurus, I don't, particularly care for him, and many people don't. But these are incredibly detailed for how small they are. They're well put together. Yeah. The fact that they have that some of these have interchangeable heads and arms is really cool to me because that's one thing that is normal in the toy world. but it is not very. I don't have any other Godzilla figures or kaiju that have interchangeable heads. That is cool to me. And
NECA didn't even do that, and I know they do that with like they could do
they do it with
parts
other stuff.
Yeah,
and I mean these are small, but these are really well made toys. I was super surprised how good these are, and also this is the first time I've had a Ghidorah figure where I had to insert its wings, and I did not feel like they were going to break. These are made well. I like these. The Minya is cool. He's got now. I have seen some people get a cross-eyed Minya. Is yours cross-eyed?
I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. I was going to do it
right
now. I was going to do it right now. I did take the tape off just so I could open it up a little bit quicker. But I'm going to see because I want a cross-eyed Minya.
You want him cross-eyed?
I want one.
I think it's
I think it would be amazing.
Is it I think it might be. He also has interchangeable heads and arms, and I think it's the head that is blowing the smoke rings that people are getting. That's cross-eyed. I'm not sure. Mine are not. Mine are in good, perfect little condition. I cannot wait to get the other set. These are great.
Okay, the head that is normal is like is on him is good.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the. Nope, perfect. Dang it.
You got good ones? Dang.
I got a perfect one.
we'll just repaint yours to make them googly eyed.
I'm gonna give him an eye patch. It's gonna be amazing. No, I agree with you, man. From everything I heard, I haven't opened them yet, but from everything I heard, and I think you described it like that they have like they treat the detail like an X Plus or somebody in SH Monsters would. Obviously, a much smaller scale, much more affordable. But they definitely went with like the realistic approach in a big way, and that's cool, man. And I think we talked about even before we received them. It's like my biggest concern for Mezco is like where does it fit, right? Like it's not as cheap as Bandai. It's not going to be kind of like your toys that your kids and you can play with, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, it's not going to be the sofubi kind of stylized stuff. It's not going to be the big X Plus super realistic, and it's not going to be that high of a price point. And with their scale, like there's nobody else doing kind of like the 4 or 5 inch figures in this way. Like, where does it fit? Are people going to decide between Mezco and Super 7 on Mezco? And what that was my biggest worry is like, where does this fit in? Because there's so much Godzilla stuff. You almost kind of have to have your little niche. So I think by looking at them, I think that they can definitely do something for those that like the realistic stuff, and then they're not cheap, but it won't break the bank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like as soon as I got these, I still have not ordered that Hedorah set, but I want it now. And then the fact that it's like 4 versions of Hedorah, you get Godzilla. It's just like this is all. If I get all of the Showa monsters in the same scale, why wouldn't I want that? These all look great.
Course.
Yeah.
And I think that's, one thing we talked about with like Super 7 was if they would have followed their same mantra that they did with like Turtles and stuff. And like, we thought we were going to get some really wacky monsters right out of the gate with Super 7. And we did. Now it's, it's only 2 monsters they've released. So, but it wasn't like we thought it would be like, okay, we're gonna give you Godzilla, then we're going to give you Manda and Skeleturtle and, something else. Mezco, they have the Destroy All Monsters set, which is kind of a gimmick in itself, but you get these more obscure monsters. They have the flocked Mothra that comes with the Shobajin, which you don't see Shobajin in toy form very often. Like
a flocked Mothra I'm sold no matter what.
100%. And then even Godzilla versus Hedorah, like they're doing the multiple different iterations and stuff, and like they're doing their releases have a little bit of a hook to them, right? Where people are like, this is how I can get something like that. That's pretty cool. I'm not saying they're doing totally wacky stuff like YMSF has done. I haven't seen them doing a, Behemoth from Legendary or a Gabara yet, but I could see Mezco doing that and really feeling the need for like kind of the Uber Kaiju nut and be able to play with that with their detail and everything. So I hope they find a home. I hope they find a niche. I'm definitely going to collect these until to a point where it's like I don't want to collect anymore, but I've definitely got through the Hedorah set, and I'm curious what they do after that.
Yeah, I'm curious what. Now I didn't order their big. They put out a big Godzilla. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the scale on that is. I can't remember if it was a 12 inch or like or maybe
it was even bigger, right?
Bigger than that, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the price was, I think, almost $400. So I was like, well, I'm
Mhm.
not buying this. But now that I've seen these, I wonder what that thing's going to look like. You know, if they
Yeah.
can do this with these this small, that thing might be amazing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll
Fair
see when
point.
things start hitting. That is all I got this week.
Nice.
Unless I'm just forgetting something under my mountain of toys to my left. I think that is all the kaiju that showed up for me.
Nice. Well,
What
I
do
have
you
a few things. I have a few really cool things, and I have. I'll just do my teaser for this round of pickups. Is I thought I was going to be able to knock off 2 from my top 10 list this week. Didn't turn out that way, and I'll explain why. It's still pretty awesome, but I thought I was going to be able to knock off 2 from that holiday top 10 list, which was crazy. But I did knock off, I think, number 2 on that list.
Okay.
My second most sought after item.
Whoa.
We
That's
might get to see in a second.
big.
But before that, I got some other cool stuff. Really cool
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
How about this? I mean, this is very small. Who doesn't need like a little 1.5 inch tall acrylic Mamagon?
Oh my God, Jay. I need that. That's everybody needs that. That is beautiful.
Yes. So I love this little thing. So yeah, I couldn't find the Shukra, but what I do, I'll put it there and I'll just have them, on each side of the computer here.
Yeah.
So a couple other things. So this is a cool one. This was kind of an unexpected one. So everybody knows we talk a lot about Nakajima, the Haru Nakajima, and both of us, we're Urasawa guys. We have Urasawa, right? But I was talking to him and he was lonely. So I decided I kind of gotta get another one. So I got the classic the green, the DNA one. So
I like that
I'm
one.
gonna have the 2 Nakajimas for now at least. But this will always be when they say what's your Nakajima, it's always gonna be Urasawa.
Yep.
I thought I could get. I love the green one. I do, and I thought these would look kind of cool together. So I did pick up a Nakajima, which was cool. And then I was able to get this really cool from. I have a lot of Titanosaurus, right? So I was really able to get this cool from 2009. Another colorway of the Marasan Titanosaurus. So
Love
I have
that.
Yeah. So I have the bright yellow one. I have of Marasan of this mold. But I wanted to get this guy. So I love this guy, and
Yeah.
I think this is the one that glows as well. I can't remember. It was one of those weeks where I got a lot of stuff. I can't remember the details on everything.
That's all right. Hey, you listen. This is our show, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. Are you going to get this D for real Titanosaurus?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah,
it's a cool looking figure, dude.
It is, and I do love Titanosaurus. So I don't collect Defos. I have the Serizawa is the only one I currently have, but I in my head there's like a little spot up here in the display, and I'm like I kind of want to do the Godzilla versus Megalon 4. So I'm getting the Gigan and the Jet Jaguar and the Megalon and the 73. And I don't think the Megalon has gone up for pre-order yet, but the other ones have. So I got those, and then I was like, you know what, I can like top that off. Like we'll stay in that. We'll stay in the 70s and the Titanosaurus I love so much. But after that, I'm done with Defos. I'm just going to get those 5 and that's it. Yeah. And then I'm done.
At some point, we're going to have to put together in whatever first episode we first started talking about D for reals. Both of us are like, no, not for me. We're not buying those.
Yeah.
And then I want to cut to the end of the second year for YHS on Monster Island and see how many we both have.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
both bought a few at this point.
I think about when we first started, it was right when I started selling like all my kind of like NECA stuff and some of my kind of stuff in my collection, some of the older Bandai and stuff. Like I was going through a big transition from into more heavy into sofubi and stuff like when this podcast started. So like I would go back and I remember like I was like one of the first podcasts. I had like a big box of NECA stuff just sitting in front of me. Like I was nuts. So yeah, it's a crazy. I mean, I'm sure D4O is not the only line that we're like, yeah, not for me. Oh yeah, I collect the whole thing now.
I mean,
it was your Biolante, man. I saw that and I was like, crap, that's good.
Well, that's what did it for me. I only own 2, but that Biolante is so beautiful, and I've been tempted to get. I did not order the Gigan or the Godzilla. The only reason I didn't though is because there's so many other things being coming out at the same time, and I pre-ordered those those X Plus, the Godzilla Gigan set. So. I mean, the Serizawa, Biolante. They're just starting to the fucking gigantic Shin that I almost like. The only reason I didn't get him is because I'm like sitting here kind of patiently waiting for that Ebirah X Plus figure, you know. So I don't know, dude. It's a better line than I think I originally. You know, at first you just kind of look at it as a gimmick, but then when you get one, you're like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah,
it's like an artistic style, and of course you might be getting some money back. Who knows what's going to happen with our 91s? They're still lost at sea.
Oh man, I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out about that because I really do want that 91. But if whatever, dude, I got my eyes on a couple things. Dude, I was on. Not to derail your pickups, but I was on Awesome Collector the other day, just kind of looking around, and you know what I want? You know what I wish I would have got? Like, I know X Plus was doing Valley of Gwanji figures at one point.
Yeah.
And I think those are all kind of gone, but there is a Valley of Gwanji figure on Awesome Collector right now, and I forget the company. But when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I thought it was the X Plus." It very much looks like.
Is it Star Ace?
Maybe it's like 200 something, 230, 250 something like that. And I was like, "Fuck, I love that movie. Why don't I own it?" You know, so it's like, you know what? If they cancel our 91, I'm just gonna put that on something else. Yeah. But I also really want that 91. So
you can sleep because at night because that Star Ace, if it's Star Ace, that is X Plus. That's like
that is the same.
Yeah, that's like
okay. It is.
US ones. Yeah.
You know, I thought when I looked at it, I thought it was the same, but then I saw the other, and I'm like, hold on, what? So okay, then it's the same one I thought it was, but
that's cool.
I think I missed out on their Styracosaur, but Gwanji's the one you want. You know, if you're gonna get one, you want Gwanji. So
for sure. Yeah, they do really good stuff. They do love all of the Harryhausen stuff, and the Rhedosaurus from 20,000.
That was another one I wanted, the Rhedosaurus. And you know what? Like I've been watching them do a couple of the other. I think did they not put out a Kraken from
they did a
they put out the Kraken size, and I have just been like kind of silently watching that stuff.
Me too.
Being like, no, I'm gonna get Godzilla stuff. But in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what, man? I used to sit and watch these movies with my grandpa, and I love them so much. Dude, I thought about when we were at the toy show. I'm derailing this whole thing.
This is amazing. I love it. More Harryhausen talk. We should do a Harryhausen podcast.
We should. When we were at the toy show, somebody had the Kraken. I don't know what company put them out, but there are action figures for that movie, for Clash of the Titans, and there's not that many of them, but there's a Kraken, and I was like, and I've seen it here and there.
Yeah,
I didn't know exactly what those run for, but a guy had it. He had it all weekend, just sitting there. I looked it up. I'm like, well, it looks complete. It's just sitting there. And I asked the guy, I'm like, hey man, how much you got on your Kraken? And he's like, well, I got 1,300 on it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, those are expensive figures. And I've been looking into them because I would like to have that set. Just the Clash of the Titans. Set. They're cool. That Kraken is such a cool looking, iconic creature, man. It would be cool. And I'm a little bummed that I've just been letting them fly by me. I might have to get that Gwanji. Anyway, back to your pickup.
No. Two things. Like I'm nervous and scared to buy one Harryhausen X Plus because I'm worried like I might sell like a part of like other collections I have to go down that rabbit hole because that is one that I've been scared to do because I mean I'm not saying I love it as much as Godzilla and stuff, but like it's darn close. Yeah. And I'm really nervous if it, because one Kraken turns into one Kraken and one Gwanji and one, everything. So it's crazy. The other thing, not related to that, but related to Clash of the Titans and the Kraken. I used to work with a lady. She was a vendor or an agency partner of ours, and her name was Kate McCracken. And she actually, and this is legit, she named her daughter Elise McCracken. So I don't think she knew it, but I was like, that's a joke. Is that a Harryhausen joke? No, she named her daughter Elise McCracken. And they're like, Elise McCracken.
Holy fuck.
Anyway, on that note, I don't have any Harryhausen this week, but I got a Gigan.
What do we got? Let me see him.
Hot off the presses. We heard about this. I got one of the first batches. Got this one. Let's do a little Night Raid, baby. Night Raid Gigan here. Blue, sparkle, blue, translucent.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening on the audio feed, I'm going to need you to stop what you're doing, pick up YouTube, and look at maybe one of the most beautiful toys I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think this is one that we might have to pencil in like the start of like for the Jeffries.
Yep, go ahead and write it down.
Yeah, it's cool. And the funny thing is, so they released at the same time. They also released a really cool all blue glitter unpainted. It's different than the Night Raid. So it's same sculpt, everything's the same. But it's a blue translucent vinyl, and the glitters. It's not as much glitter. It's a little bit different, and then just the only other difference is like the eye's not painted, and it's awesome too. And I just was so shocked that they released those so close to each other. So it's very cool.
It's awesome too. And I was looking at these earlier today, and they're both great, but it's that red eye that sets this thing off. It's such a small. It's such a small difference, but the fact that this is all super shiny, glittery blue, and then he's got that very, ominous, piercing red eye, it makes it.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm so mad that you have that and I don't. That's a beautiful toy, man. Congratulations on that guy.
He's been hard to find. I'm gonna see if I can track down a few more of these because I was able to find one other one for a guy that a really great Kaiju dude that's active in all the Kaiju groups, Jonathan Portman. And really smart guy, awesome dude, and knows his stuff. And I was able to track one down for him, and that was kind of like before I was able to put anything on the site. So I'm hoping I can find some more because they're awesome, and these need to be out in the hands of us collectors here stateside because they're awesome. And this is a good. If you don't understand why people like sofubi, and then you show them that, I think they kind of start getting it a little bit.
You get it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the next, I have three more things. Well, actually, no, I don't. I have four more things. One I forgot about. Our friends at Mondo, we know we had the Hanna-Barbera fiasco where I kept it for 24 hours and sold it.
Yeah.
I will not be selling this one. I'm very happy with this one. The Attack Peter statue came in. I'm going to hold him up without the base. There he is.
Beautiful.
Very cool. So, and the base, the same stuff. So, my Hanna-Barbera one didn't have any defects as such. I just didn't like it, didn't love it, whatever. And I know Mondo's had a little bit of taken some hits from a quality control. This one, unfortunately, the magnet tail on the back, it's not staying. So I don't know how I can fix it, but it's not really staying in very well. I don't know if the magnet is already kind of a little worn out or what. So I'm going to have to figure out a solve for here, but
send them. Have you? Mondo's been pretty good at send them a message. They'll get something to you. They'll either replace it or, at the least, I've had Mondo send me coupons or discounts for a further purchase multiple times. So I mean, it sucks that they've had to do that, but sometimes whatever. But that's a cool figure, man.
Oh, I love it. No, 100%. Like I obviously love the aesthetic of Attack Peter and everything.
Yeah.
And I think this is great. And speaking of this, Jake, I thought that would be a good time to plug something. If you don't mind me do a little selfish plug here.
Do it, man.
It's not selfish for us at YHS. Yeah. I'm actually going to be on Collect All Monsters this Saturday with the team over there. And they're doing a Saturday show because of Easter. But the main guest there is not me. I know, shocking, right? It's actually going to be Attack Peter. He is going to be the main guy. Cool. So I'll be setting the table for Attack Peter, or I'll be the opening act.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little YHS on Monster Island. Going to talk a little Toku Toy Town. Going to be giving away a really cool piece of sofubi from Wonderfest. Not telling you which one. We're doing some cool stuff, and it'll be nice to be on with that great team of Kyle and David and Leslie and John and Christine. They do so much for the toy collecting community and the Kaiju community. It'll be cool to be on there for a few minutes to chat with them. And like I said, Attack Peter will be the main event. So go check it out and hear, I'm sure, all about this figure right here, the statue.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who's maybe listening maybe if anybody's listening from the YHS camp and doesn't quite know what that is or hasn't seen that, check it out on YouTube. Yeah, cool. Bring some money with you. It's great. There's knowledge being dropped. Yeah. I'm excited to watch that this weekend, Jay.
Yeah, very cool. Typically how it happens is they show what they got that last month. It's a monthly show. Just like Jake and I are doing now, and then immediately you go, "Oh, I want that. Where do I find it?" Yeah. And you go find it somewhere and buy it. That's typically what happens. Okay, so the last three things, but it's really two. I'll do two together.
Okay.
I thought I was going to knock off 2 from my list. One I did, and the other one was, I kind of cheated in our list, and I think my number 7 or 8 was like buy all the 1989 Marathon 350 Biogoji.
Yes.
And I got, I thought I bought the last 3 I needed. 2 of them came in, 1 is delayed, so that was kind of one kind of bummer. I thought, okay, yes, you know what, but I'll still be able to say, look, I got these 2, the other one's on. Here's the first wave of like 21 of them they did or whatever it is. And then they announced they're going to do another kind of glow in the dark pink and blue, subtly different than the pink and green, a Sakura Mochi style, different than the pink and blue. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. Then last night I find out that I'm just searching around. They're gonna do a small run and drop 5 new glitter variants. 5. Yeah. So now I went from like having literally like 21, thinking I was done, or 20, and I have 6 more now on the hunt. So I'm like, now the finish. They're moving the finish line way back. So no, it's super exciting. They're all really cool. I'm pumped to have them all, and I just joke because it was like this week that they announced it. I couldn't even celebrate for like a day.
You couldn't even have one day of completing the line.
No. So between the classic one, which is like one of the original ones, getting delayed, like the very first one, is like the last for me to get.
Yeah.
But I did pick up 2. I'll do the first one. Is I have the orange and black clear, the red and black clear, the dark clear, the red and gold clear. And then I have obviously the clear glitters, but I did not have this really cool green clear. I have the green glitters, but this guy is really cool. I absolutely love him. Yeah, it's a cool, like lighter, smoky type of translucent vinyl.
It's kind of like a mint green.
It really is. It's definitely a mint green. And this is one where you put it in the light, it does some just funky stuff. And I love the bright gold grill he has going on there.
Yeah.
Love this guy. I'm so glad I picked him up, and he was really, really cool. But I like the next one even better. So this one, actually, I couldn't find anywhere. And who comes to the rescue but the dynamic duo, YHS on Monster Island listeners, YHS listeners, Collect All Monsters listeners. These people know good programming. The great Calico Chris and his significant other, his better half, if you will, Melanie Murder, and they got me this, I bought it from them. This amazing secret glow in the dark Biogoji, the pink and the kind of light blue. Love this guy so much. So Jay, very cool.
Jay, that looks like cotton candy, and I just want to eat it.
Right? Please don't. I don't know the chemicals needed to make something glow in the dark. So, but this guy is rad. He's awesome. So Chris, Melanie, thank you so much for offering him up and giving me a fair price, shipping out quickly, all that good stuff. They are two of the best. They know their kaiju, and I know they're watching. I hope they're watching at least. And so thank you. And just keep up the good work. And they're super active in the on not only group therapy, but in all the kaiju forums and Facebook pages. They're great. They know their stuff, and they post some cool stuff. They have a badass collection as well. So cool stuff. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Melanie. I really do appreciate it. So I thought I was going to knock that one off, but I didn't. But it doesn't matter.
That's okay.
I got one of the. I don't like using the word Grail because it's overused. And so I'm not saying this is a Grail, but on my top 10 list, I have it on record as this is my second most sought after item because I've never seen this available to purchase since I've been actively seeking it. Mm-hmm. So it's been a couple years. And it's been a little bit of time and it's just never been available. Not even for like $1 million, just throw it on eBay for $1 million. Like there's nothing. I just haven't been able to that. I've seen 2 people have it. One, I forgot his name, somebody on one of the Facebook pages. And then Michael Lynch, Sweaty Vinyl on Instagram. If you're following, great follow there. He's an Austin-based dude. He has a badass collection, and he has this. And it's been in the background of some of his Instagram posts. I'm like, you want to sell that? You want to trade? He's like, not yet. He goes, you don't even want to know what I had to do to get this. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I just had to ask because I would be staying up at night asking.
Right.
I wonder what he would take for it. But I found one. Not his, but I found one from 2009. Oh, I'm so happy to have this. This one makes me so happy, Jake. I can't even tell you. They call him the Crystal Megalon. I like him because he's painted almost like he could be Jet Jaguar's friendly version of Megalon from Marathon 2009. There he is.
There he is.
Oh, I love this guy so much. I mean, the colorway, like it's like somebody was like, so he's Jet Jaguar. We'll use this paint colorway on him. No, that's the bad guy. Don't do it. You know what? Happy accident. I mean, I love this. Even like the subtle two-tone here on the wings.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is I already love the sculpt that they use, and this colorway just sets it off. So you know, I found it not having to pay the. I think there a week later there's one posted on eBay for the first time ever, and they listed like $1,000, and I'm like, glad I didn't have to pay $1,000. So
glad I didn't have to pay $1,000, but I probably would have, because
it would have been tempting.
That thing.
It really would have been tempting, and it's one of those things where it's like you overpay when you know you could have waited a couple of years, and if you're comfortable waiting a couple of years, great.
Then okay,
but this thing doesn't pop up a lot, and it's not new. It's it's 12 years old, 13 years old, so it's not a new guy, and they're not making anymore. So this one is a big one for me. So officially, the Marmot Batra and the Marathon Crystal Megalon, I can mark off the holiday wish list. And now on to the next one.
Very cool. Love that. I'm so happy you got that. And I think that's another figure that you could show somebody who doesn't get sofubi and be like, this is it. This is everything you need to know. Yeah. Put this in their face, and they would, pass out from how amazing that toy is.
Yeah. For those that haven't watched Toy Anxiety, and by y'all's numbers, everybody's watching it. So I don't know if they're talking to anybody.
I mean, everybody watches it for sure.
It's pretty awesome. But y'all show that you guys did, I'll say last night, but the show this week, we did on Tuesday. Y'all's big topic was like, why do you guys personally collect toys? And and I think for a lot of my toys and a lot of like the things that I do, like I do agree with what a lot of you guys said. It is a kind of that window, that link back to the past and happier times, whatever. But the other part that you guys also mentioned is like, they're just things that you look at and they make you feel happy. And at the end of the day, like we view the same things like movies and TV shows and books. We read them because they entertain us. They make us happy. They let us feel certain emotions. And this one, I have no nostalgic value. Never had it. I mean, it's 2009. I don't think I'm allowed to call that nostalgic because I was still like, I was old balls still then. But this is one that like, when I look at it, it makes me happy. I collect sofubi because of this guy and guys like him right here, this Megalon. And so if anybody asks me, I don't need to do a long-winded diatribe. I'll just show them this and be like, that's why, because I'm a better, happier, nicer, more complete person when this thing is on my shelf than without. So that's why I collect sofubi, Jake. So, I'm glad to put it off the list.
Well said. I love that.
Or well shown.
Well shown. Well said. Whatever. Now that's your last pickup, right? That's your last.
It is my last pickup. Yeah.
Well, I think showing off that Megalon is a perfect segue into the fact that we just both bought new Jet Jaguars this week.
No, we did. Yes.
Talking about news, Mondo's been releasing Godzilla stuff for a while now, and this week was no different. They did release a couple posters. I already mentioned that, but then they also released the very first Jet Jaguar figure, and I've been excited for it. This was teased back a couple months ago. They showed some of these off at maybe it was, I can't remember, but there was a convention where they did show that there's a Biollante coming, and they had the Jet Jaguar, and the Jet Jaguar is sculpted by, give me the name because I don't
Rocom
Toys. Yep, who did the Death Jaguar that we both own. I love Death Jaguar, and I cannot wait to display the Jet next to the Death. They just it's such a good sculpt.
I'm more excited than actually owning the toy is watching waiting for your toy photography of those two, because I love you have the best, because like I love the setup you have, especially when you do like your stacks of toys. I love that. But anyway, I can't wait to see your Jet Jaguar versus Death Jaguar, which talk about a movie that we would all love.
It needs to exist.
I mean, but their sculpt is great, and I love that. I mean, it truly, the Mondo release looks just like this, but like really Jet Jaguar. It's great. It's so great.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm excited for that. As far as news, you got anything else written down? Do we got any other big news coming? Anything that we haven't really talked about?
There was a few things because I know it's been a hot minute. And we mentioned like the X Plus Deforeal Titanosaurus and some of that newer stuff. The big was it Spiral Studios released the big Behemoth, the Titan from Legendary, which is just crazy that's something that a very, very minor character, though badass.
It's a good design.
$700, $800 sculpt, and it's beautiful. Like, it looks so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, can that guy fight Kong or Son of Kong or team up with him or something? Like, I want more of that guy.
He seems like he'd be a good guy. I don't want to believe that design looks so peaceful and noble to me, and I think it's because it just looks like a big elephant basically, but it doesn't. I would be annoyed to watch that character be a villain. I want to root for that guy. I do also know new Playmates Godzilla stuff is hitting the shelves. I've not seen any of it, but I've had multiple people send me some pictures that there are more MonsterVerse toys. They're hitting Targets, Walmarts. Craig said there's a pretty big Godzilla. He saw the Godzilla Kong playset in his Target. I have not seen any of that stuff yet. And I'll probably pick all that stuff up just because I've always collected those Playmates figures. I've tried to get, every one of them, but none of those I put on display. I buy them, they go straight into storage. It's like I feel a duty. I like them. I think they're cool, but I do not feel like they have a place among, my actual shown collection. So I'll probably pick them up. I'm saying that out loud, it sounds psychotic. Like if I ever said that to a professional therapist or something, like, I gotta own it, I gotta buy it, but it's immediately going to a closet. It doesn't belong in my collection, but I need it. Sure, that sounds crazy, but those are hitting stores. I know that. Also, Cavity Colors did tease Godzilla versus Gigan, I think this week. I think they said they've been doing
good stuff, dude.
It's coming either this week or next week. I didn't order any of the Mechagodzilla stuff. I like them, but I didn't order it.
Yeah.
But it would be hard for me to pass on Gigan stuff. So we'll see. 100%. I haven't seen any of it yet, but they have told us it's coming.
Yeah, that one is going to be cool. I bought some stuff from Header. I bought some stuff from when they did kind of the general like Showa one.
Me too. Shin, Biollante. I've bought a good number, but
and I like the Mechagodzilla designs. To me, it has to be the design plus like the color and type and style of the shirt or whatever that like works together. And like the style and stuff I worked and the design I like didn't really match up. So I didn't get any, but I love them. I think they're great. Especially like all the design work is wonderful. But as far as news, it was a lot of kind of like deeper cuts this week, the last couple of weeks. Like I know Yamakichi, Saru Jirushi, they did a new Matango that's really cool. I know
that I've been seeing people's photos of the Matango showing up there.
Yeah, it's like the this was actually that one is really cool. The plus the Toho Maniacs one. But I was talking about they actually released it's like not rainbow color, it's like bullmark sculpt, like hetero colored, like the yellow and green and red and black. And it's Saru Jirushi that's done some of the Burning Godzillas recently at Wonderfest. So they're cool. I don't think this one is even out yet. I think it's just like the pictures. But the Toho Maniac stuff has come out and they look awesome. I'm mad I missed out on that. I need to maybe find one of those. Those look really cool.
Yeah, they do.
And then a lot of stuff. There's some like some Ultraman stuff that came out, like very small stuff. The only one I would talk about, and for me personally, maybe not for everybody, this is very like probably Jay specific, is everybody knows I love baseball. I love the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Godzilla, as Toho has done a formal collaboration, the Godzilla store, with one of the baseball teams over there, the Hanshin Tigers. For those that love Japanese wrestling, that was the favorite team of the late great Grand Naniwa from Michinoku Pro. But before I get too nerdy here, they released this really cool stuff, this collaboration, all these toys. Why I bring it up here is before you laugh and say, I don't like baseball. Mm-hmm. No, this isn't for me.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know. I want to share with you. Hold on one second. I'm going to share the screen here.
Please show me.
Because I think
whatever this is, I'm going to love it, I bet.
Let's pop up the logo for a second. Oh, it won't let me share it. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I forgot I got that weird Chrome thing again. Well, anyway, I will pop it up on the screen. We just won't get your reaction here on if you like it. But they did the what is the little character that always like looks like a mouse or a cat that has the Godzilla costumes on?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Now it's gonna bug me. But they basically did a wearing a Godzilla costume that's basically tiger striped, like in a yellow and tiger stripe that is like the Hanshin Tigers logo. There's a YouTube video and everything about it, and it's really, 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 really badass. Hamataro.
There you go.
Or Hamtaro. That's really cool. It's Godzilla Store exclusive stuff, but the logo is really cool as well because it has half of the face is a tiger and half of the face is Godzilla, and it's pretty badass. But anyway, there's a cute, small animal wearing a Godzilla costume thing, which fits right into Jacob Walsh.
I'm sold.
Aesthetic. But you'll have to look at it. I'm gonna have to send this over in the chat. But we'll pop it up here. It's really cool. But that's really it. Like I said, it's a lot of kind of like smaller news items.
Well, listen, I mean, we're 50 minutes in here. Let's get our 5 minutes in on Godzilla Raids Again, and we'll get the fuck out of here. Listen, I put this movie
now,
on.
I'm gonna talk more than 5 minutes about Godzilla Raids Again.
I tried to take notes through this and just as talking points, and I didn't have much to write down. But first of all, the craziest thing in this movie, which is so funny to me, and I loved it, is that when Anguirus shows up, they're just like, it's an Ankylosaurus. This is and it's like he's not described as being a mutant or anything. He is just 100% supposed to be an Ankylosaurus, and I forgot that was his explanation, and I just could. I love the book of dinosaurs they're looking through, and then it's just Anguirus. I was like, there's nothing about him there's nothing about that's correct in any kind of way. So that's Jurassic. That's Jurassic World Indominus Rex being a dinosaur type logic,
Maybe even worse. So my very first thing, I only have one line of notes that I just want to make sure we talk about. And it just is the phrase "bad dino science," because I mean, also bad. Me and you are a little bit different, right? We are in the upper tier of paleo nerds, like we, like you have had stuff in Prehistoric Times magazine, like you've drawn and depicted realistic versions of dinosaurs on people's bodies and on canvas and everywhere. Your credit when it comes to dinosaurs is untouched. I'm a former member of the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology. I wrote I've done a Smithsonian review for a book about dinosaurs by a paleontologist. I know a little bit about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so that whole scene where they're explaining it's hard to watch, but it's so just what, like, I don't think I could take a dinosaur and try to and be told, like, describe this incorrectly and do a better job of describing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a carnivore. Pretty sure they got the dates. I don't think they gave us like Cretaceous period dates.
Nope.
And all the other stuff. But that I can look past, right? I can look past that part of the bad dino science of being a carnivore. You hit on, I think, might be the biggest issue with the logic is they just say he's already 120, 130 feet long or whatever, and he's this apex predator. Like, that diminishes everything like about Godzilla, and like he was would fight Godzilla. Like, Godzilla, we grew this way because of the radiation, so like that wouldn't be much of a fight. So you're either saying this Godzilla, this new Godzilla, is not a function of nuclear radiation, which destroys the whole premise of Godzilla, or are saying he was, and Anguirus is just, this is the only way he can beat him, and that, hey, man-made monsters are worse than, because he kills Anguirus, spoiler, are worse
pretty quickly, by the way.
Yeah, I know, are more dangerous than earthbound, animals that should exist. I guess if that's the case, I can kind of see it. But if that's the case, they should hit that theme a lot harder.
Yeah, but
I hate it. I hate that.
you just put more thought into this than anybody making this movie did.
Oh, in that same scene, we also learn that Godzilla, this creation, this unbeatable monster, doesn't like lights.
No, it doesn't like lights. The thing that scares Godzilla away attracts Anguirus. Like, that's a line, you know? It's like, come the fuck on.
And also in that scene, I don't want to leave that scene yet, because one of my other big points was, so I do, one of the positives is I do like the connectivity to the first Godzilla film and the fact they bring back Dr. Yamane, right? And I love Dr. Yamane.
He's great.
And you know, Takashi Shimura is one of the greatest actors in Japanese film history. Like, period, end of sentence, like Kurosawa, veteran, like everything. He's awesome. And I know his character is supposed to come across as being like just a little bit worn down, a little bit like there's no hope. Like, guys, like I don't have a solution. There's not one. But to me, how it comes across watching it is like Shimura's there's like, guys, this movie is not going to be as good as the first one. I'll say my lines, I'll do this, but like he's just like, yeah, we're doomed. And it's like it crosses the line from like in character to like I kind of really feel he's thinking like he's just like, let's just get through this.
What are we doing?
Let's just do this. Like this is not working. But it's just all in that whole scene I think is so critical in whether you like it or not, because if you can get by the bad dino science, the light sensitivity, Yamane kind of mailing it in. Once again, no offense to the late great Takashi Shimura. Then if you get past that and it doesn't bother you, I think there's more stuff to kind of embrace about the film. And I will defend parts of it, but that scene is just bad in so many levels.
The whole movie is weird to me, and it's because and this is something that happens with a lot of sequels, right? So the first movie comes out and it's a masterpiece, right? Yeah. It has like things to say. It's horrifying. It feels real. It's like beautiful. Everything about it. The special effects for the time are great. Just everything about it is perfect. It has like a really heavy message. And then your sequel immediately is just stupid. You know what I mean? It just immediately a lot of the things that were meaningful in the first movie are negated by most of the things that happen in the second movie. And it's just weird because that's a sequel thing just in general. You know what I mean? And like when I was a kid growing up watching Godzilla movies, you don't care about that kind of stuff. You're just like, yes, it's another Godzilla movie. That's all I want. So like you grow up kind of avoiding that thought. It's not until you get older and you go back and rewatch the movies that you're like, oh man, why'd they do that? So like when I'm watching this, part of me is like, oh man, this really kind of like the fact that the first movie is so good and so real, and this is just the first movie after that, and it's like there's another Godzilla and then this and this, and it's like it just makes the first one feel less meaningful. So I don't know, man, but I mean that's kind of a tough line to sit on, because like one of my favorite Godzilla movies is Godzilla versus Megalon. So you know what I mean? Like there's definitely it's just a weird follow-up to me.
Yeah, well, we talked about that where it's like, you know, some films, then they do something technically wrong, it's charming, and then some do it technically wrong, it's annoying. It depends on, you have to look at the whole picture in totality, and then you decide. Well,
I don't know if there's any movie they would have made that followed the original 1954 that we would be sitting here like, yeah, it's just as good. You know what I mean? It's just hard. Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little bit of rapid fire on why I think there's a lot of good stuff in Godzilla Raids Again.
Please do.
Because I might be a one on this one. So real quick, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to tell you kind of where I feel Godzilla Raids Again fits, because it's a very important film to me and how I look at kaiju film. And here's why. I think Godzilla Raids Again is neither good nor bad. To me, it is ground zero. It is level zero. Every film to me is either better or worse than Godzilla Raids Again. Like it is, to me, it is like the reference point. And I know a lot of people don't like it. And a lot of people, I don't know anybody that like loves it, but like, a lot of people, it's usually negative. For me, I think I probably like it more than most people, but all the flaws that we talked about, I agree 100% with.
Yeah.
To me, it is neutral. It is 0.0. So when I say I think Godzilla versus Megalon is good. That means it's better than Godzilla Raids Again. If I think it's worse than that, then I think it's worse than Godzilla Raids Again. Like, that's my line. I will never say if it's good or bad. It is to me, it is the most neutral movie of all time. So that's kind of my end game. Here's all the positives for me. I think the score by Masaru Sato is amazing. Now, I mean, you think about, he is the John Williams of Japan, but, and we always think Godzilla and Ifukube. But you look at what Sato has done from a score standpoint: Raids Again, Ebirah, Son of Godzilla, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 74. Mm-hmm. Those are 4 films that we always talk about. The score is different and fun and funky and unique. Especially we talk about the Mechagodzilla entrance score much, right?
Yep.
So I think the score is really, really, really good. I agree with that. I'm a big Hiroshi Koizumi fan. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the best actors of the classic Toho, or one of my favorite actors. This is not his best performance. He's very kind of like, he is just neutral. Mm-hmm. But I do think Minoru Chiaki, the guy that plays Kobayashi, and Mr. Groom, I think, and once again another Kurosawa legend and an amazing actor, I think his portrayal of Kobayashi and the role of Kobayashi is very, very good. It needed more screen time is the only negative, because, if you think about it, his placement is no different than 54 than Serizawa. He is the odd man out in a love triangle, right? And he's not going to beat the handsome young Tsukioka, Koizumi, just like Serizawa. Harada's not going to beat out Ogata, Takarada's character in 54. He's the odd man out of a love triangle, but this one is different because instead of being married to the person or engaged, the other one doesn't even know that he has those feelings for her. And I feel sorry for Kobayashi so much because he puts on the brave face and he's still charming and amazing. And so I feel that character, and it makes his sacrifice that much more, I think, important to you as the viewer. And you learn that kind of at the end when you see, that the picture in his wallet was of the girl, Tsukioka's girlfriend. They should have been a little bit less or more subtle, more than subtle about it. And I think he should have had more screen time. I was hoping that his sacrifice, if it would have been what led them to stopping Godzilla, instead of just like, oh, we should keep doing something like that. Yeah. So I think they've lessened it a little bit. I think that's an issue. But I think the role of Kobayashi was done well. And Chiaki was one of those guys that could do the serious and goofy and fun he played the same character he did in Seven Samurai. And I like that about it. I think that was a good role. All the other acting around it, other than Yamane, who held it in, I just thought was like good, or was not good, not bad. It was just neutral.
It's just fine.
Yeah, it was just fine. And then I did like the Hokkaido scenes, with especially the ones when they're in the restaurant with Tsukioka's old Air Force buddies come in and stuff. I love that. I thought it was fun, and I thought it had even more of a human, kind of smaller feel than 54. And the other thing I like about this film is, I give it a pass on, is I think it's unfairly judged because it's taken after 50, or it's right after 54. Whereas, you were talking about, does it lessen 54? I don't. I think 54 is so good, it makes it really, really hard for it to live up to it. And they did some really dumb story choices and plot point choices. But I think there's enough there for me that it is just there. Like, it is neither good nor bad. And I thought some of the cinematography, I think, was really
that
good.
Makes me feel like it's worse. If it's just there and it's just existing and you don't even feel like, that means I'd rather it be bad. I wrote down, I loved the dance number.
Yes. Yeah.
I loved the dance number. That scene just felt, I don't know, it just felt nice to me. That's a good bit of in a pile of stuff. I like that. Let me tell you the one thing that I feel like maybe is, two things that I find interesting about this movie is the fighting between Godzilla and Anguirus is weird because on one hand, to me, it feels more realistic towards what animals fight like.
Mhm.
But even though it seems more realistic, it's less interesting to watch. It's just like it's just two dudes like holding each other. You know, it's like it's less entertaining to watch that than like normal style Godzilla stuff. The other thing is like something we have to talk about is other than some sofubi that I love, this is one of this Godzilla suit, dude. The head on this thing, I think it looks pretty good from the side. I think from the side, it's a good. He's got a good looking profile. The long neck doesn't bother me. It's the shape of the head, especially from the front, and the puppet of it. Whenever they're using the actual puppet, it is the worst thing I've ever seen. The teeth almost stick straight out on the puppet. It looks so incredible. You know, the puppet's not amazing in 54, but 54 is so good that you don't care that you're looking at a
You don't focus on it. Yeah.
You don't focus that you're looking at the puppet and the puppet scenes. This puppet is so bad. You know what you know what it reminds me of? You remember a couple years ago, there was that woman who worked in a museum and there was this like priceless painting and she messed up the face, so she redrew the face on it. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It was like it got turned into a meme. It was like a painting of like Jesus or something, and it got fucked up. She messed the face up, so she tried to repaint the face on it, and it looks. And she's not a painter, you know.
Yeah.
And it feels like somebody took the puppet from 54, accidentally fucked the teeth up, and then was like, "I don't know what I'm doing. Let me fix it."
Yeah.
And it's just somebody, and they're like, "We got to use it. That's what we got. We're out of time." I hate that. I hate the way Godzilla looks in this. But also, like, I love my, I love my Sofu. I love the toys based on it because I think the weirdness works
for sure
in toy form. But man, the suit is something.
Yeah, it's not great. Yakusho Goji is not a top design from a suit standpoint. It's in the bottom tier for sure. There, I'm on the other side of the fence as you on the fight scenes. I agree, they are very more realistic. That doesn't. I thought they were like, to me, they're good. Like that to me is a positive for it. I get that they're less interesting than, you know, when he's throwing rocks and doing drop kicks and stuff. And I get that. I think also it depends where and when you watch this film, because you know, a lot of us, like, you know, we weren't alive when these things came out originally. Right. So, you know, if you watch this at the very end, after you just got done watching insane fight scenes in Godzilla versus Megalon and Godzilla versus Gigan and stuff, I get it. Like, it is boring and uninteresting. I think, you know, if you're watching it, your first time you're watching Godzilla and you're watching it in chronological order, and this is the first time you see monster v monster, like I think you give it a pass, and the historical significance.
Yeah, probably for sure.
Great. But so I guess I don't know.
It felt jarring to me watching it and being like, oh, because they're just fighting right away,
circling around,
weird and jerky. They're not making noise.
Yeah.
So you know, there's very little.
There's a lot of technical issues with this film,
and it's just like this looks like kids made this. You know, it's so weird.
Oh, the production side on the technical issues as just a film, which I'm not qualified to talk about. I can tell you that there's lots of issues.
Yeah,
like that.
For sure.
That's not. But you know, some of the stuff, like, I think is done really beautifully. You mentioned the dance number scene. Like, I agree. I mean, I think that is like bringing it back to a human element, in a human moment, like, which I don't know if you got as much of in 54. Like you felt sorry. A human element that's not super sad, right? Like, I mean, like, far as like this is everyday life. We're still hanging in there, and no way, you're not. There's a siren. No, you're not. You know. So I think that they did a lot of good stuff, and I think the actress, I forget her name, that played the main actress, she was really good in it. So, like I said, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a rushed production following a legendary piece. I think there's good stuff in there and there's bad stuff in there, but it just cancels each other out. And the pacing is really weird. I think they kill off Anguirus way too soon.
I think so too. Most of the movie is them just trying to do 54 again.
Yeah, at the very end, like the last stuff. Like, I agree. But hey, you know what? I'll give it to them. The characters in this, they did stop Godzilla for 7 years. He stayed in that damn iceberg for 7 years.
Well, that's because it was nice and cozy in there.
I know.
I remember when I was younger, and when I started to realize that there were a lot of Godzilla movies out there that I had no idea about. I remember finding a list of all the Godzilla films and being like, okay, I've been able to see these. I've been able to see these. And this is before I could just like get online and order them, or they were streaming. And I remember being like, whoa, the second Godzilla movie ever made, I've never seen. And I remember it was a long time before, like it was harder to find. That one wasn't, they were releasing other ones on DVD or VHS. And that one was just, so I remember being like, fuck, I gotta see that. Cause in my head, because it was so close to 54, it had to be as good as 54. And then I remember being disappointed in it the first time I saw it, because I was like, oh, I've been hyping this up in my brain, thinking because it was harder to find that it was going to be something amazing, and it was just whatever. It was just. It is
what it is. Yeah, it's funny. The book, and I've showed you this before. Like in the 80s, they had that Hollywood Dinosaurs book, and on the back it's like, come see all the all the dinosaurs are included in here, like Godzilla and Gigantus the Fire Monster. And I'm just like, and I was like, Gigantus the Fire Monster is Godzilla.
It's the same thing, yeah.
But technically, I guess they're right, because this is a different Godzilla than the first one. So maybe they were like, we call it Gigantus. But yeah, that was another thing. I was always so confused, like looking at the stuff. It's like, why was this? I didn't understand. Like, well, when they brought it over in the U.S. in '59, they wanted to make these changes because X, Y, and Z. Like, I had no idea why. I just thought, I was like so confused on why he was called Gigantus the Fire Monster. Yeah, and that one was just so nuts. But I don't know, like I said, I have a more positive opinion of this movie without saying it's a good movie. Like, it's not. It's just, I know most people think they kind of view it almost at best that they're indifferent to it. At worst, they hate it. It's somewhere kind of in that spectrum, and I think I'm at a little bit above indifference to it. I do think, like I said, there's some positive stuff, but it may be just because I'm a huge fan of Koizumi and Chiaki and those guys.
Yeah,
and I think the score is beautiful. And hey, there's no. Ishiro Honda didn't direct it. So like, you have that too. It's a different view from a director standpoint. So you have that. And it's always hard to follow a year later, follow a legend.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but it's just one of those ones that I'm not going to reach for that often. I would say I like this over Megaguirus, but I've seen Megaguirus more times because I feel like I watch Megaguirus because I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to like something about it this time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I put it on with the hope that like, well, it's been a couple years. I'm going to rewatch it, and I'm going to see something in this movie that I didn't see before. So it gets more rewatches.
Oh, yeah.
Than something like Godzilla Raids Again. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's a Godzilla movie. And I can give it credit for being the first monster on monster, Godzilla film. And I can get over, all the little, a lot of the things are just weird, little nitpicky, like whatever. It's not great. But I don't think any movie put right after 54 you're going to watch and say, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about that. So I don't have like the sources and stuff in front of me, but I know like one of the big Godzilla books, they talk about the contemporary reviews in Japan were like critical reviews from the critics were better for Raids Again than they were for the original Godzilla, because
that's crazy.
I know why, but it's like because the concept of heavily themed metaphorical, like in sci-fi, like there's no place for that, but like, oh crap, it's one of those, it was bigger, not that it was just considered so different, right? But like people, Raids Again did well at the box office and stuff like that. So
was this 59?
55 in Japan, and then 59 in the US is when they released it as Gigantus. Yeah, it was a 4-year gap before they came over.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So it was one of the I know Megalon was a 3-year gap from 73 to 76 to get over to the States. And I think they released. Did they release Did Gigantus come out here as a double bill with Rodan? I think it did. I think it did. Yeah. I think it was a couple years before Rodan came out in the US too. So I don't know. I mean, like it's one of those that's just kind of like middle of the road for a lot of people. But to me, it's very important. How I rank Godzilla movies is better or worse than Godzilla Raids Again. It is.
That's latitude zero. Jay, I'm going to be honest. That's a weird scale. That's a weird way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and say this movie is in the I'm going to put it in the bad category, but it ain't It's not the worst.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's at the bottom for me, like because so many of them are good, right? Like I'm not saying it's my middle of the road.
Right.
Like there are
right.
18 movies better, 18 movies worse. I'm just saying like the line of what I would call good. So Megaguirus
ends
is
at this
it.
movie.
Yeah,
Okay,
Megaguirus
sure.
is below it.
Sure.
And so that there's only a few that are below it because I consider most Godzilla movies good and enjoyable, but the anime ones, which we're going to revisit at some point, Megaguirus.
You're going to feel You're going to feel different about. You're going to feel different about at least half of the animated movies. I bet when we watch them.
I think so.
I think
it's
they're
been
good.
enough time.
I think 2 out of 3 are good.
Yeah, so I think the second one is still one that I'm a little concerned about.
That's the one that I think. Personally, the second one is my least favorite. I like the idea. We're not going to get into it. I like the idea of Mechagodzilla City, but I think the first one's a great. I've rewatched the first one a lot. I like it a lot.
Well, the other thing that we forgot to mention about Godzilla Raids Again is, I mean, we almost got another American monster or dinosaur movie out of it because the volcano monsters. They were gonna use the suits and stuff, and which is crazy because Super 7 is doing a 57 Godzilla, which would have been when volcano monsters would have come out using the Godzilla and Anguirus suits as just like generic dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
But still, we almost got that. So it almost got us another movie with these with your favorite Godzilla suit.
I mean, I'll watch another movie with it, but
yeah. So like at the end of the day, can we defend Godzilla Raids Again? I'm trying to, but I don't. A little bit. I would never say like when we talked about like taking a movie that's universally panned by most people, like Ebirah, which I do think though is appreciating in value in the fan community. Like we both love Ebirah, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like, here's why. I don't think Godzilla Raids Again is going to get that clean bill of health. I don't think we're going to say, no, this is a movie I think is actually good. I just think that there are elements of it that are quality and that are worth something.
Sure.
But there's a lot of it that's not. And as a whole, hey, it's just there.
It's just there. Yep. That's the best way to put it. And I think that's a good way to end our discussion on this movie.
This podcast after a year, Jake, we're just here.
We're just there. Jay, you got anything else to say on this movie or anything else?
No, just in all seriousness, congrats. It's been fun. These, 25, 30 episodes in this first year when we started this, and I'm excited for the next year to come and all the cool things that we got going on and just kind of expanding the brand. And, I do appreciate it. It's been really great kind of being part of the YHS family as the weird monster loving third cousin. It's been great being part of the family. And I'm excited for hopefully some big stuff coming down the pipe for us. And it's been great. Thank you for being our fearless leader and, us living off that Jacob Walsh brand. I love it. And, it's been wonderful. Just a wonderful time. And thank you to all folks that are listening. We have a lot more listening now than we did on day one. And we hope to keep growing. And we would appreciate nice reviews and 5-star reviews. Help us get at the top of those search lists and get the listeners, and hopefully they'll like it as much. And so leave a nice review. It would be great on Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever. And then of course it wouldn't be a YHS on Monster Island if we didn't talk about the other wonderful properties at YHS, including the hit sensation, the toy show that is shifting the paradigm in toy collecting more than any other show. That's the Great Toy Anxiety on YouTube every Tuesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
We're trying to get some feuds going on Toy Anxiety.
I know, that's what I've heard.
So many toy collectors on YouTube are feuding and they make videos about each other. And I just want another channel to make a video about us so bad.
I know. Just because
so I can laugh at it.
The funny thing about you guys, if that happens, is you guys would have so much kind of like artillery support. I mean, you would have like Forlum to Zuckus and Geek Dad Life and everything.
The thing is, we don't need it because they're so dumb. Those toy show rivalries it's just the stupidest thing, and I just can't wait to be a part of one someday.
maybe we should get one on the Kaiju side. Maybe we'll reach out to Michael and Travis over at Kaiju Ramen.
Oh, dude, and they're going down. Yeah.
You're going down, or the one of the other guys, or maybe I'll get on Collect All Monsters, and they'll think I'm coming on there, and I'll do like a big heel turn and just be like, you know what, your show sucks.
Go.
You know what, Kyle? Kaiju Cast sucks. John Ruffin, my Kaiju sucks.
I didn't say that. Dude. Well, I mean, whenever we announce our Kaiju monthly magazine that we're gonna start doing, we'll get it going,
and we'll call it like Monster Soup instead of Kaiju Ramen or something.
Oh my. Monster Soup.
We can only joke about this because
hey,
Michael
we're
and Travis
getting, we're getting, yeah, I love them, but we're getting Monster Soup shirts.
And
I love that. Jay, I can't say anything better or more than what you just said, man. You said it all. Thanks for those plugs, man, and thanks everybody for listening, for being with us for the year. Jay, couldn't have done it without you, and I would not be doing this without. I'm so happy to have you as a co-host, and anybody listening, thank you. It's awesome. And we'll be back in a couple weeks,
sometime.
Yeah,
and I'll have more time with this guy right here.
Maybe I'll have some more toys. I'm gonna get off my spending freeze in life. All right, guys. Bye.
Adios.